From time to time, we get asked, how do I make a reverse bevel? Well, what is a reverse bevel? Well, let's look at a standard bevel. This is a standard mat, and the cut goes this way. A reverse bevel would be, let me grab this one, where the cut goes this way. In other words, the bevel is exactly opposite of what you think of as a standard mat. Now, why might you want to do that? Well, perhaps you're using a fillet or a fillet. This is a strip of wood or plastic that fits inside your frame like that. You cut these at 45 degrees angles and so forth and stick it in with double stick tape, and a lot of people like this technique. So that is one reason to cut a reverse bevel. Well, how do we do it? All right, let me get a new board, and here's what happens. I'm going to measure this at 3.5 inches. I'm going to put the mat board back up, face down, like this. Move the cutting head. And I'm going to put 4 marks. We're doing a 3.5 inch mat. Always take your time. If you get in a hurry and get a bad cut, you can do another mat. Make sure that it's flush against the squaring arm, or this squaring arm and the scale over here. And we go like this. Make sure it's all straight and go like this. Now at this point, I'm going to remove the set scale. We don't need it anymore. And instead of cutting on this side, which we normally do, we're going to move the mat board over this way, so that when we make our cut, we're going to put this on the line that I just drew. Make sure it's square down here. Then I'm going to take the cutter, place it in the channel, and if you can see this little line right here, I want that just slightly inside the line that I drew. If you put it on the line, you'll get a slight overcut, so we don't want that. So slightly inside, and when I get down to the other side, it's going to be slightly inside. Push my button down to keep it from moving while I stick the blade in, then I can release the button, and here I go. Just inside. See where I stopped? Okay. Now I'm going to turn the mat around here and repeat that process 3 more times. Now, when I finish cutting, the inside of the mat will fall out the other way as opposed to what you would normally expect with a regular mat. That's because of the reverse bevel, of course. All right, here's my second cut. Keep in mind that the majority of the mat is to the left-hand side, not to the right. Slightly inside, push the button down and go. All right, final cut. Make sure that line's right there. Up here. Now in this case, I didn't draw that line quite far enough, but you can see roughly where it goes. Push the button in. Now this should fall right out, this way. And there is your reverse bevel. And if you're using a fillet, or whatever, you cut the fillet accordingly and stick it in there. I want to show you an example of what a fillet would look like on a finished piece of work. Over here, you can see by using the reverse bevel all the way around, I don't have a gap between the fillet and the mat board. And you would probably use double stick tape under this fillet has a lip that goes under the mat to attach it to it right there. And that gives you a good clean look and a good reason to use a reverse bevel if you want to use a fillet.